Hey, everybody. Welcome to I'm Possible Live. And we want to thank our amazing, the brand Misfit, Charlene Brown, for her incredible patience today. Because LinkedIn Tech, y'all are playing Mercury is retrograde still. We were supposed to just be talking about a little shadows right now. We're supposed to be chilling out a little bit. We were supposed to be live streaming on LinkedIn and on Meta. Today, we are delighted to finally have our signal back. And I want to thank some amazing LinkedIn creators for talking to me about some of the issues they were having. And now we've got our own story today, Charlene.
Yes.
So maybe the live is just pretending to be a misfit. Maybe it's just an opportunity, as we would say, for differentiation.
It wants to shine.
That's it. That's it. Exactly it. But without further ado, just thank you for your patience as we got started today. LinkedIn has us up for two different times. So if you're in two different time zones, hey, we'll pick one. But we're gonna let Charlene kick us off and let us know about wonderful Charlene. And then we'll get this party started. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. My name is Charlene Brown, the brand Misfit, and I have been just excited to help so many people not only understand how to implement technology in their business, but really know why it's so important to have a website for their business to represent their businesses the proper way, so they can build brands. So many people are just so excited to start having a business that there's so many things that can slide and slip through the cracks. So that's where I come in. And not only do we create strategies around that, we also make sure that your tech and your brand are cohesive. So you understand you don't have to be everywhere or use everything, but make sure you're investing in the right things at the right time for your brand and your business to succeed.
Woo! And that is so how it's done. So we can't even say it's a New York thing. And I am really grateful for a chance to connect with you. And Karan, thank you so much for joining us. I think one of the really cool things about Charlene is Charlene had no idea that I've been following her for years. So I just mention it because she's got some amazing content across platforms. If you're on Instagram, I am one of her quiet followers because 9 times out of 10, when she puts it up, I save it in the little bookmark. I read it, I save it. I'm still digesting it, and I forget to pop in and tell you how brilliant it is. So I'm going on record today, and you'll see it all over LinkedIn. Her gems are amazing. We need somebody beyond igniting trust to ignite light torches so we can figure out what to do. Technology, grateful for Charlene's patience. And I knew today the tech would work out because Charlene is here. But I'm laughing because it says, your live isn't scheduled for now. A little scary. We're discovering in the opportunity to kind of expand on tech and to play with it. It's really teaching us have a bit more courage, you know. I'm
Courage, patience, flexibility. One thing that I've learned, and I fell into tech, right? And since 2000, just seeing how things work on the back end, and I was reluctant myself, but not because I didn't think I could do it, but there were just so many moving pieces. And even now, I still discover things that I'm just like, oh, wow, okay, this is something that people need to know. Because we tend to have assumptions of how things should work, especially when we're promised um, through tech that it'll be a life changer, a game changer, a lifesaver type situation. And that's true only if you know what it is that you needed to help you with. What do you needed to save you with? Right? But if we're going by someone else's assumptions or someone else's idea of what they think we need, just like anything else in our life and in our careers and our businesses, we tend not to actually get what we truly desired because we didn't sit down and have our own internal conversations so we can have clarity. And that's why I've just really tapped into having clarity as the base of everything that I do, everything that I work with my clients. I had to make that shift because so many people didn't even have clarity on, okay, how often do you need to work with me? How often do we need to update things? How quickly do we need to update? Because regardless of what you think, you may be saying, you know, I need to do a dirty launch. The idea didn't literally pop in your head last night and you said, okay, let's do it today. A lot of times we get these ideas and we sit on them, or they keep popping up. And when we feel frustrated, we're like, okay, let me just push it out. And that's where a lot of the oops and the oh my gosh and the starts to happen. And again, I feel a lot of the tech trauma and a lot of the tech issues people really face, that's when they start bumping into these things because they're just not planning it.
Wow. So I'm the planner without being the event planner. But I think from being the teacher's kid, or as someone suggested, call myself the daughter of a scholar, that need to kind of look at stuff from a bunch of different angles. But I love that you're suggesting really that we start from the clarity perspective. I think there's so much happening in terms of strategies and how we decide to approach stuff, and sometimes we forget to share that secret sauce stuff. I hosted an event last week on a bunch of different platforms, Be Visible Shift Celebration. I've done it before, but last week, finally, playing around with different components, I remembered why to invite people in. And I think that's the part. We don't necessarily share that. Here's my why. Here's my goal. Here's my hope. Here's my promise. And I love what you're saying there, because if we can think about it in terms of tech, that it can make it feel simple. Hi Misha, hi Shirley. Thank you so much for connecting us. And Shirley and Leslie in Mosaic Nation of Co-Elevators, thank you for connecting us so I could hear this beautiful woman's voice. I think the thing that's cool about what you do is that there's so many levels. And I had the chance to reach out to Charlene about 2 months ago. It was at a crossroads. And I think that's the clarity piece. When we're not sure which way to turn,
Mm-hmm.
when we're not sure whether we need to step forward, pause, make a lateral move, hitch a ride, whatever it is,
Yep.
we really need to reach out to somebody with your mad skills. I cannot thank you enough for, if not always helping us make it simple, helping us remember what's important to kind of share. On that note, you've got a book. Keep it super simple.
Yes, yes. And I wrote that after my first book was it ended up being very technical. And the second one, I actually did that one to test myself on how to market a book, how to really get in tune with getting the book out. Am I doing this book with the clarity of when someone reads it, they'll understand what I'm trying to say, or they won't feel that overwhelmed that a lot of people do feel, especially when they're creating their websites. They don't understand, like, okay, what do I need to address first? Do I need to tackle everything at once? You don't. Um, a lot of times it's just focus first. What's the website for? And then, of course, once you have it up, how are you going to maintain it? So even though I walk you through the basics of how to get it up, I'm really uh, excited to start that new book, saying to walk people through, not only do you have it up, now how are we going to maintain it, how are we going to keep it out there and keep it to the point where it becomes your marketing engine, it's like your sales engine at this point. A lot of business owners aren't sure how to do that, especially as small business owners. We're always told it's always going to be social media as your marketing, your email as your marketing, but you still need a home base that you'll always be able to send people to. So when I say, you want to really brand yourself and stand out and embrace that misfit energy that you have, that's your platform is your best way to showcase who you are, allow people to get to know you, and also learn from you at the same time. And eventually, they're definitely going to see value in what it is that you're providing. It's not always a transactional situation when it comes to educating people and letting them know this is why I do what I do. I'm super passionate about it. And yeah, we can get glimpses of what you do and how you're passionate through social, but why not just go all in on your own platform? You don't have anybody else that you're competing with at that point. So that's where I really feel we're a lot of us miss that mark. I did that when I first started. I didn't know as a business owner how to really make those two connections. And once I just started paying attention more to, okay, this is why everybody's telling us to go to social, but why can't we do that on our websites, right? Why can't we make our websites the home where if we wanted to entertain someone, if we wanted to really dive deep into our stories, if we really wanted people to understand about our products and our services and why they're so much of a game changer in so many of our clients' lives, why aren't we telling those full bodied stories on our platforms? And that's where, for me, blogging is so amazing for that. Not only are you creating a resource, right? Your resource doesn't only have to be an ebook, or your resource doesn't only have to be a knowledge base, but your resource can be your blog where you're explaining in depth so much of this
Mm.
conversation that allows people to learn more and see that you're knowledgeable and see that, yeah, you are the expert because you're able to do this and that and weave all these things in. And while you're doing that, of course, you start to navigate them to, hey, this is a great service for you. If you want to learn more, if you want to work more in depth with me, then go here. And it's always about making sure that when you're planning it out, you're planning out your content, include your blogs, include your website. So when you're doing this, you're adding the links that you need to embed, you're adding videos so everything is more dynamic. But all of this should be a planning stage. So if we can plan for an entire year, like so many people are already planning for 2024, right? If you're planning for that and you're planning to make content for social, we're planning to make lives, we're planning to do podcasts. Why is our website always the last, if ever, part of the planning stage?
I love what you're saying, and welcome, Clarine. Welcome back, Clarine, and welcome back, Lachelle. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to all who were here, kind of at the top of the hour, wondering why tech wasn't cooperating, and let us join you. Clarine said it really well, that embracing our misfitness can be very liberating.
Yes, absolutely.
It's, I think, you saying and you reminding us there's so much going on that sometimes separating the levels, separating the layers,
Yes.
separating the roles, and in many cases, some of us didn't have the confidence to start sharing our stories. We came to that place in life a little later than some others, you
Hmm.
know. And hey, Marcia, welcome back. I think Lachelle's got a great question.
Yes.
And I know this is about trust and trusting our inner misfit, which
Hmm.
I love because it really reminds me of the differentiation part. And
Right.
Charlene really helps us with how do we personalize what we're doing? And she's giving us great gems on how to showcase ourselves as experts. But Lachelle's got a question. What are the most important things our website should have to include the strategy?
Again, the blog. The blog is one of the most important things. And then have something that's evergreen, that you can always refer to people. Some folks have a clarity call that they have. Others have a staple product or solution or a service that they are always able to refer people to. So, and when you're creating these articles, these blog posts, things like that, that allows you to now navigate people wherever you need to go. And especially if you have a podcast, you can summarize a lot of these blog articles and redirect people back to reading you. So when reading those, so when you're on your podcast, when you're doing your lives, you can say, hey, I talk a lot about this on my website. I talk a lot about this on my blog. So when you're planning out your website, the first thing that I always recommend is plan out, how do you want people to be refer to you? What do you want them to know you for? And when you get that base down, then you can say the content you create should always remind people, this is what I'm known for. This is why I'm good at what I do. And that's where the stories come in. That's where you sharing your knowledge on your blog comes in. And for me, I had a framework, right, that I created this year. So all my content every quarter was based around my framework. So the early part of the year, I was helping people learn how to build awareness for themselves and their brands. The middle part of the year, I was helping folks remember how to map things out for themselves. And now this year, it's this part of the year, we're doing more about the promotions. How do you get that constant promotion out and really allow people to see who you are? And of course, is promote your website, promote the things that you're doing on your website, showcase the things that you're doing through your website. And that's why I feel a blog is so key when you really planning out a strategy like this, because most websites, the majority of those pages, the key pages, don't update, right? So if you're not really updating those and you have people coming to you or searching for solutions, and you're not really doing anything with those pages, you tend not to always be at the forefront, especially if your website is new. You haven't really, this page is new. Google doesn't really know the credibility of this page. Are you giving value to this? And is the content, right, even connected to what people are searching for? One way that I found that really helps with this is when you're creating blog articles and you're able to tap them back into these pages, you're building a nice cohesive center, a nice little silo of resources. So every time someone's looking for something, you can tweak your blog to fit the searches that they're going through. And then that allows you to update more often, and you don't have to do everything at once, right? So you don't need 30 articles at once, but if you get 5 to 10 amazing, strong, valuable articles to become your resources and to become the core, then before you know it, you will begin to shoot up there, especially using SEO keys. So yeah, that's usually how I get people to think about how to strategize things on their website. The blog for me is super powerful and should be getting integrated as soon as you can, so it can start to become another evergreen piece of resource.
I love that. And you really reminded me as we start blogs and we dream of writing books and fall in love with the writing pages or the how to. The reminder is keep sprinkling stuff everywhere so that the evergreen stuff really grows. And not only just from the SEO, but from, as you're saying, from people just being able to discover our solutions. And
Absolutely.
I love what you're reminding us in the concept of thinking of what is it that we want to be known for. It took me a really long time to figure that out. And I think part of it, and I love, there's in one of your upcoming gems, you include the word liberating. It's the reminder we have stuff we bury, we hide, we conceal without intending to. We're waiting for it to either be perfect, or you can get stuck in analysis paralysis because there's too much going on, or perfection paralysis. This has to be absolutely gorgeous before I release it. It really is, challenging. But Clarine's reminded us, not only do you know what you know, but boy, you are flowing in terms of sharing our gems, and we don't want to stop them. I know on the other end, for some of our listeners who may not know some of the gems that Charlene has going on, we're gonna share those. Um, I know. um, you were talking about blogs and newsletters. So maybe we start there because we'll give people a warm up and let you know how to get in touch with Charlene if you're not already following her everywhere, like many of us are. So if we go to inboxconvos.com, Charlene, what will they find there?
So, Inbox Convos is my newsletter where I like to drop tips, strategies, and especially this month, it's Cybersecurity Month. So, I definitely want to continue spreading the information that so many of us need and we're not aware of. And of course, most of us, we don't have time to, to stay on top of what's happening and how to really secure everything that we need to secure. So just giving some nice quick tips, first of all, and then of course give you guys a couple of blog articles that I've written about these situations. So you never are in the lurch of trying to say, oh my God, I'm not compliant. I don't know how to get compliant. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know what that means. I help you out with that. I help you out with some branding strategies. I'll get back into sending more of those articles out too, because I am also getting ready to launch a new podcast this month. I'm super excited about that. You guys will hear more about that tomorrow. But that new podcast is Clarity with Charlene. And that one is me really sitting down with my fellow experts in different industries and just understanding like how did we all get clarity in our lives? And then, of course, how do we help others get clarity? So, yes, I cannot wait. And the upcoming conversations are amazing. They're juicy, which I love, and they're amazing people. So I have more people in the wind of in terms of they're going to be on the podcast as well. So yeah, I can't wait.
Well, that sounds fabulous, and thank you for sharing more juicy news with us. I just can't thank you enough because when I look at your website, it feels like I'm I'm watching like flowering trees, if it makes any sense. It took a really long time in the process of really wanting to differentiate and wanting to make sure that the stuff that I was doing felt personalized. It's taken a really long time to feel the fit of it. So I'm grateful to talk to you today as I'm dreaming of a new website and what that new website will be under a stronger, wider brand. I think what you're reminding us of as we're talking about misfits is misfits don't necessarily fit into other people's puzzles, into other people's mindsets sometimes, into other people's the equations or the melodies maybe that are going on in our mind kind of have their own lane
Absolutely.
and and their own vibe. And I absolutely love that because you took me to the urban dictionary to come up with the definition closer to the Charlene definition. How did you settle on misfit?
I settled on that because one, misfits are always known for causing trouble. And I wanted to take it to where we're causing trouble in a good way. We don't want to stand out in a bad way, and that's something else that I wanted to, in a sense, reclaim for misfits is that we're always seen as we're sticking out, right? But now we're going to stick out on purpose, and we're going to stick out on purpose happily, unapologetically. And when we're doing this, we're bringing all of us. And that's how, when I work with so many amazing people, when they're doing their calling, right? I see them shining. I see them so excited. And I'm like, you know what? Your take on this is so different. And there's so many coaches or so many consultants, but it's the approach. That's what really makes us stand out. And for me, that's a misfit. You need to stand out, and you definitely need to make sure that people know why you're different. And that's part of your misfit energy, right? Your misfit energy is that core about you that this is something that you really feel deep down it has to get done this particular way, right? But it's not about your way being the only right way. It's just your way is so different that your results that you help get That's why you get those type of results, right? Because you're just doing it differently and you're sticking out in a positive manner unapologetically always.
Definitely, you got everybody. We're all cheering. We see the fires. We see the emojis. Welcome Jenny. Welcome Kevin. Welcome Cheryl. And
Yes, and I see Cheryl. I actually part of her a summit that Cheryl is running, and we are promoting that now. And you guys will see that too. I'll push that out too, so you guys can register.
that sounds fantastic. And Kevin is saying how he loves this. And Kevin, I have to thank Kevin. Kevin was a wonderful host in a delicious community I was invited into on a day when I thought I was gonna have the introvert quiet voice. So I thank Kevin. Kevin says he's a bit of a rabble rouser, but I don't think so. I think he sprinkled in just enough of an opportunity for us to show up as ourselves. And again, really want to thank him for that. And Clarine says it well. Yes, to kind of sticking out on purpose,
Yes,
so that we're not smoothing out the edges. We're not conforming. We're not becoming homogenized. We're not distilling our magic. Uh,
absolutely. And never let anyone make you feel that your misfit energy is something to be ashamed of, or you're making other people uncomfortable. Sometimes other people need to be uncomfortable, right? Maybe we are bringing things to light that they were not sure of. And it's not us being rude about anything, it's just us knowing that this is who we are. We're not changing if it's not necessary. If it does not embetter what we do, if it does not embetter us and the people around us, then what's the point of changing who we are so someone else can feel comfortable? And that what does that do? That just further dims our light, and we're not here for that anymore.
I absolutely love that. I also love too when hanging around on your website and in your great content. Charlene has to be the queen of trademarks and SMs. I love it. It's your gem. It's your jam. This is pure solid gold. And you're like, oh no, I am investing in protecting the creation. How do you get to that point? Not only this is the right fit.
Right. I got to that point because it took me a while, and I knew being in business, building a brand, and that was something else. I had to focus on everything that I'm doing. Is this towards a bigger thing? Is this towards me building my ultimate legacy? My ultimate legacy, what does that look like? And of course, what's the investment in all of this between time and energy, and of course, resources? What does that look like? And once I realized, okay, I'm building a brand. This is what I want my brand to look like. Then I felt confident moving forward, um, going after certain trademarks, because this I knew at the end of the day, I will defend this. Right? Some people, they get a trademark just to get it, but they're not defending it. They let it go. But I know, like, nope. This is something that is about to get defended, and if I have to, I can confidently speak out, and I know why these were created, and I know the story behind it. That's something else too, right? When you're creating something, you're not creating it just so it can be something catchy or a hashtag or go viral. You're creating it because there's a deeper meaning behind that. So that's a lot of what you'll see from me. I'm creating things that are connected to me and my ultimate purpose. So yeah, when I did that, it was very strategic, and I was planning out every single thing that I really wanted to go after. So yeah.
Mm, I am like all lit up. So this is, I'm telling you, I'm really looking forward to the replay because then I can pull out my pen. I teased Lachelle and we were joking about this the other day on hashtag Social Saturday Chat. I was talking about journals and the need to dust them out, but really, you're just reminding us truly stay ready. Pen is here, but I'm staying fully present with Charlene, and I'm really, really looking forward to having a chance to like replay and catch all your gems. So, speaking of cool things other than your podcast that's coming out,
Yes.
Charlene also has.
Empower and scale. And this was something that I just created because I realized something else that a lot of us were not doing, creating those evergreen resources. So this is me walking folks through that process of, yes, we can launch dirty, but let's launch dirty strategically. So even though everything isn't perfect, we can still plan it out. We can still have a guided way to do it. But then making sure that once we're done, we know that the ultimate purpose is so this can live on without us having to manually handle everything and get people through it. So, yes, not only is this a process for you to create your own evergreen service, but it's also a way for you to give others who may not be able to invest with you at your top tier level, but give them an opportunity to work with you on some level.
Well, I absolutely, absolutely love this because what I think is really cool, and I had used the word intensive in in a program that I was doing, uh, and at that time, I think for some people, it spooked them a little bit. It spooked them. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of energy needed. There's a lot of I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time to this and on this. But I think I love what Jenny says because Jenny's reminding us to not step over our truth, to kind of reach our full potential.
Yes.
That just when you're ready to show up and be fully present, Charlene is the person to come hang out with in the process. And
And this intensive that you mentioned, it's I had one that was a day, right? And that was a lot of information that people were taking in because I do go over not just the strategies but some of the tech. So now this will be a 6 week intensive where we will meet together and we'll walk through the process so you're not feeling overwhelmed. And those who are able to jump in, because we kick off on the 16th of October. So those who are able to jump in, you actually get bonus weeks with me. So and a couple of little extra goodies. So you can actually make sure that you complete it. And that was my goal for this program is to get people to create something that they can have a group moment with each other and have a group program. So yes, you don't have to give up your one-on-ones. You don't have to do a lot of those things, but create something for a group process. So that way you can also make sure that those things get done. People are able to work with you, get something done at a certain level. And I wanted to make sure that your project gets launched because a lot of times people will come into intensives, they won't finish. So that's why the 2 week bonus is there. So you can actually make sure you're getting it done, make sure that you're not feeling overwhelmed, but make sure that it gets launched. Dirty or not, it will get launched.
Jenny wants to know who should sign up for your empowering scale.
Great question, Jenny. A lot of women who are booked up and booked out, your coach and your consultant, this will be a great opportunity to create a nice, quick program for yourself and your clients who can actually say, okay, I may not be able to do a one-on-one with you, but let me jump into this group that you have and get some of these solutions that you are offering.
So, from Jenny's perspective, also, and I have to thank you for the opportunity to talk to Jenny last week during Be Visible Shift celebration. Would somebody come into your intensive with an idea of what they want to create, or more of an idea of who they want to create for?
They would actually already have this. So if you already have a one-on-one, we're actually converting that one-on-one into your group process, into your group service. So you're not starting from scratch technically, and that's why if you're that's why it's perfect for those who are completely booked out, right? You're doing one-on-ones but you're at capacity at this point. So let's convert that one-on-one process so we can get a group to go through that same process without you exhausting your time and also without you having to do the motions, and you're able to get more people in and affect more lives and have more impact that way.
No, I absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. And it's it's so cool because I'm telling you, if you look through all of Charlene's content, she's really helping us amplify. She's helping us focus. She's helping us generate, but really helping us like rev up. Like I love hanging out with people like Charlene who help fire up the ignition switches. We need help with the healthy fuel to keep lifting, to keep finding the energy to show up and help others solve problems. Um, if there's when will we be able to? I know tomorrow we'll learn a little bit more about your podcast. Are there um, others that you? What are great ways to introduce you to Charlene people?
uh, Introduce me to those who are stressed, who are stressed, who feel like they have been traumatized by technology. They're just not sure where to even start with it, and they know like they have something to offer. They're just not sure how to really package it and showcase their expertise. That's where I really love working, in that space, to say, okay, you have all this amazingness. Let's now fine tune how you say it. First of all, we let's make a clear understanding of who you're talking to with this, and then start to showcase and package your amazingness in a way that people can digest it in a palatable way, right? So on your website, that's part of making your website something that people can navigate. You want it to be an amazing restaurant. That's what I love to say, right? Your website is your restaurant. You have all of your amazing dishes there, and you want to present it in a way that people see and they're like, "Oh my God, I got to get a taste of this. I got to get a taste of this. I got." That's how you want that to be. And then you social media and you use your email list as your food trucks, right? Your meat wagons. And you give the samples through your social media accounts, and tell people, hey, if you love that sample, head on over to the restaurant where you'll get more, and you'll even see more on the menu that I didn't showcase here, because certain things I can only serve in the restaurant. There's one amazing food truck that I was able to go to when I was in Jersey. And it's a Caribbean food truck, right? Which one, I didn't see a lot of that. I don't think I still have seen a lot of Caribbean food trucks. And this food truck mentioned oxtails. And I was already curious. I'm like, you gonna give me oxtails from a food truck? But they said that what they really did was they said the oxtails were only available at the restaurant. So even though they showed you what the menu was that they had, they gave you like a number, they gave you a QR code, and all of these things that you were able to still find them and go directly to the restaurant. So things like that, I want people to realize like your website is your restaurant. Most successful restaurants will not close their restaurant and only work through the food truck. The food truck is there to get people interested, to get people to sample you. And then, of course, you want to drive them back to the restaurant. So that's what I want people to really take with them, from this conversation. And that's what I always try to refer to is that's why it's so pivotal and so important for a brand, right? And that's a distinction. Are you keeping a regular business that you're just trying to pop off some money, or are you building a brand so you can say to yourself, "Oh, okay, I see why certain businesses or people move like this," right? You see why Beyonce or Oprah or Richard Brand, you see why they move certain ways, because they have a brand to protect, or there's a brand that they're building, or there's an extension to their brand that they're elevating. So everything that you see, I don't want you to be the next Oprah. I want you to look at it as, okay, now I understand why certain things are done. And I'm doing the same or similar because I'm building a brand. So now you can really tell yourself and remind yourself, this is why I do things the way I do.
Yeah, I love that. You're reminding me to become a little bit more specific. when I share with clients or collaborators about elevating your blend.
Mm-hmm.
Because just like that great story you just told us about that restaurant, you've got your secret sauce. You have certain things you only do in a certain way, in certain combinations, mixing certain spices. Jenny, thank you so much for popping in and joining us. Jenny's saying, have a great day. She's bringing amazing, amazing energy from the Northwest. And just want to thank you for popping in to join us. And boy, your patience was some interesting misfit tech today. You know, LinkedIn, I want to thank you. I noticed this last week. Something's happening with whoever's setting up the clocks that the platforms are depending on.
Mm.
Something's happening with the times. You have an event and platform sharing that it's at a different time. So, real great reminder, as Charlene saying about that clarity piece. We may need to start repeating the time at which we're starting stuff for a little bit until the whatever it is, the universe aligns and lets others know where exactly to join us and when. And I want to thank you also, Clarine, for letting me know that there were two times. It's an interesting thing I discovered today on LinkedIn for anybody else going live. It's listing multiple times for our events, and we need to triple check them when we're setting them up. Triple check the graphics, triple check, double check, whatever it is. But when you're looking for a way, and now I have to go check out Charlene's other book because she said the first book was pure tech. But I'm really ready for a copy of Keep It Super Simple because that sounds like where exactly I need to be in the process of trying to create sequences and funnels. I tested some last week, needed to test them in a different way. I will retest them this fall to make sure they all work. But Charlene, that do you have a specific topic? Can you give us a preview of what you're speaking about during Cheryl's Summit, or is it a secret?
No, it's not, it's you know what? Let me just say what we get into. And Cheryl, she understands, right? So kindred spirits, right? So it's really more about helping the audience understand why having clarity around their website is key. So we dig a little deeper into that realm, and of course the power of the websites and having your website as your foundation in your marketing. So we get into those conversations.
Well, I am so excited and delighted for the timing as we're about to that'll be the next major project closer to the end, really closer to 2024 cuz boy, the reminder to check and triple check and double check and look at it from all the angles so that it really fills the clarity
Yes.
bucket and the reminder of helping us showcase. But I love that you're here with your extremely unique set of amazing, brilliant skills to share gems with us. And for anybody who hasn't had a chance the first time, do what I'm going to do. Go back and replay and let Charlene know something that you're picking out as a nugget you'll try. And that's something I promise to be more intentional because really I am devouring Charlene's content and I now have to let her know I am one of your like avid consumers, you know, and I think sometimes that's what happens when you're trying to learn to earn or you're trying or you're always be learning is your philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
A reminder to let those great talents who are teaching us and helping us expand our gems, just to let them know how much we appreciate them. But I truly appreciate you and your patience getting started today, changing StreamYard links, having to reschedule LinkedIn Lives, and for all of your tremendous patience as well as your encouragement. You also have are you still doing your tech? Yes, she is amazing, Cheryl. Do
Thank
you
you.
still have your room on Tuesdays?
Yes, I do afternoon delights, my tech Tuesday rooms, and that's on Clubhouse at the Mosaic Nation of Co-Elevators. And you can actually head on over to that one through brooklyncustomdesigns.com /afternoon delights. And I will, again, I'll share that because I've shared it before on LinkedIn, but I'll share it again. I've been pushing out some projects.
That is great. You sound like you've got a bunch of laborers of love, and we're delighted to be here to continue to cheer you on and to thank you also for all of your amazing encouragement in helping us locate some clarity, some tech, and it's deeper than brand strategy because I really appreciate you asked for my call a couple of weeks ago. I really was stuck. And it was more than a couple of weeks ago. And you truly helped me get unstuck. So thank you so much for that. And to everybody joining us, have a magnificent day filled with opportunities and possibilities. Stay safe, stay well, stay inspired, and please stay in touch and invite somebody in to check out more of Charlene's gems. And thanks for joining us for Impossible Live. Take great care. Be well.